found out about the drag storytime event going to be held at the Oakley Library. I found out in late March, and I was shocked and horrified. I was following the Let Women Speak sort of the tour with Kelly J coming to Australia and New Zealand. So I was already in a sort of an agitated position after seeing what happened to her and the women that came to speak at those events. So the Drag Queen Story Hour being advertised in Oakley was the straw that broke the camel's back for me. Yeah. What I mean about that is that it was, okay, now it's time for you to open your mouth. That's what I said to myself. We looked up the entertainer who had an open Instagram account, and we were just horrified by the posts and the captions. The captions all used the C word. His name is Sam T. He's a drag performer that performs weekly at the Emerson Hotel in Paran, which is fine because it's an 18-plus venue, and it's in Paran. I mean, in my 20s, you know, we all went out to bars and clubs, and if you were going out in Paran or South Yarra, it's totally normal to see, you know, a drag queen at an event or at a club. First, I made phone calls. The only person I was able to get on the phone was the diversity and equity librarian from Oakley Library, and he was just
that's a job.
He was,
I know more.
Yes. And he was very dismissive, and you know, wouldn't listen to my concerns. He was saying, you know, it's going to be age appropriate, it's going to be family friendly, you know, just pretty much trying to, I don't know, just make it all sound all glitter and rainbows, and just completely dismissive of my concerns.
So what were some of your concerns then? So, you know, they're assuring you that it's family friendly and appropriate. Yeah. Why wasn't that kind of good enough? What did you think?
Well, my issue, I brought up the issue that it's an adult entertainer, and they said, oh, well, he's going to make his act age appropriate. But he wasn't able to tell me at the time what books they were going to read to the kids. We found out later what the books were, but at the time, and a lot of people still now, they think that he was going to read, you know, The Very Hungry Caterpillar or Possum Magic, and that's not the case. When we found out the books that were going to be read, we thought, okay, we're going down the right path, because these books should not be read to children aged 1 to 6.
The three of us are mothers.
Yes.
Dan Andrews is not, and neither is, you know, Mr. T or whatever he is, who wants to sex clown.
That's right.
Read propaganda to children.
Funny you should say that, yes, because one of the ridiculous responses that I got from someone at Monash Council or a representative, I wrote so many letters. Anyway, I had asked for the stats because they kept saying this is in support of rainbow families that live in the city of Monash. I said, okay, well, can you send me the stats of how many drag queens have children in the city of Monash? Crickets. No response. We uncovered that the Monash City Council wants to be the first council to achieve the Rainbow Tick accreditation. So they've got this Rainbow Action Plan that's been pushed by these childless male lobbyists, and all they do is just pander to them, and to hell with the majority of residents and ratepayers. Really shocking stuff. And people just have no idea. I forgot to mention, yes, I created a petition on change.org. It got a lot of traction. I posted it Friday afternoon, and it was getting so much traction. Like before I went to bed, like the signatures, it was just tick, 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 tick. It was heading into the thousands. And then I woke up at 6 a.m. and I thought, let me check. Let's see what we're up to. And it was gone. The link was broken.
Okay. We all know how that's going to end.
So I sent a request just to the support centre to say, what's going on? I can't find my petition. And then I got this generic email about 5 days later saying it was removed for hate speech.
So you guys, you all showed up at the council meeting. Did you all come together, or did you just kind of put out a call and hope people would turn up? Or
yeah, so after the petition got taken down, There were some other petitions from other mums. So we were all sort of, we didn't know each other. And their petitions got taken down too. And then we realized, okay, there's something wrong with change.org because they're taking down all the stop drag petitions, but the save drag petitions were staying up.
So just the illusion, right, of community support for that side.
Yes. So if you supported the drag event, your petition was allowed to stay up. That was fine.
Yeah.
So I managed to just meet these other people on social media, and with just direct messages going back and forth, throwing out ideas. And then I came across a group called Voice for Kids. They want to remain anonymous, but literally it's grassroots, just mums, local mums who were like, all right, we're going to fight this. And a lot of people were throwing out, well, let's do a protest on the day. And I said in one of the emails, I go, I don't think that's a good idea. And I'd already been on the Monash website and I said, there's a council meeting coming up on the 26th. We've got time. Let's follow their process. Let's take it to them. So we mobilised to submit as many questions about drag by 2 p.m. on the day, which is their own process on their website.
Yeah.
And we wanted to get on the agenda, but there was no guarantee they were going to put us on the agenda. And I was actually, I had called, there was one counsellor who would give me the time of day. He would return my calls. He would text me. And his name was Theo Zographos. And I mentioned this to Neil. The rest of them wouldn't return my calls. And one of them had actually blocked me on Twitter as well. What really infuriated me is that, and you'll see if you jump on social media, you'll see there's all these men who probably don't even have children. They're like, well, if you don't like your kid to be read to by a drag queen, then don't take them. That's not the point, because this is a public library. They're using public funds to indoctrinate children. Do what you want. Hire a private hall, have a drag show. I don't care. Do it on your own dime. But when you do it in a public place and it's state sanctioned, you better believe that the ratepayers are going to have an objection. They said the doors would open at 6:45. They didn't open them till after 7:30 because they were debating whether they were going to open the doors or not.
Oh.
Massive police presence. And if you look at the footage, it's just a lot of women. I mean, I brought my husband along because I said, mate, you're coming. Just in case, you're coming for protection. And lots and lots of grandparents, which was great to see. There was even a disabled man with his own walker. And then I said to him, can I get you a seat? And he goes, no, this converts into a seat. So good on him. He sat at the front with us and I thought, good on you. Look at this. I was really proud of the people that turned up. I really was. I didn't know them, but I met a lot of people on the night and I thought, yep, you guys are great. Just normal, everyday people.
One of the interesting things was that it did get mentioned in Parliament. I mean, we've been talking about Dan Andrews. Well, he actually did stand up in Parliament and condemn your group and the activities that took place.
Speaker, I'm saddened to have to rise to make a statement to the House in relation to quite shameful conduct out at the City of Monash last week, and decisions that, very sadly, the CEO and the Mayor of that council have had to make in relation to cancelling a number of events that are about celebrating diversity, events that are about sending a message to often some of the most vulnerable people in our Victorian community, that they are loved, they are respected, they are safe, and they are supported by their government and their community. Now, I make this statement not just as the Premier of a state where equality is not negotiable. I also make this statement as a long-time ratepayer in the City of Monash. I don't know how many of these protesters, with not an exercise of free speech, but an exercise in hate speech, violence, bigotry, racism, sexism, homophobia, transphobia, the list goes on, ugly scenes on any measure. We won't stand for this sort of ugly behaviour. It's appalling. And I again make the point, it's not about free speech. This is hate speech, plain and simple.
It's frightening because what that does, that rhetoric dehumanises women that speak out.
Yes.
And it means that you're permitting, when you dehumanise someone, well, it's okay to maybe enact violence on them.
Yeah.
And that's actually really frightening, because I've seen memes that the only good Nazi is a dead Nazi. So if you framed me as a Nazi, does that mean that someone can come and, you know, attack me or shoot me or God knows what?
Live fast, die young, bad girls do it well. Live fast, die